Hi, everyone. I'm John C. Morley, the host of the JMOR Tech Talk Show and Inspirations for Your Life. Hey guys, it is John C. Morley here, Sir Entrepreneur. Welcome to the JMOR Tech Talk Show. We are at our third Friday of the month of January in 2023. Can you believe that? We only have one more week left in January. We're out of the first month of the new year and we're into February already. Where did the holidays go? Where did January 1st go? Where did everything go? All right, we have a great show for you guys tonight. And we are working on getting some good guests to come on the show in a few months. We have some new structures. My co-host Marcus will be back with us hopefully soon. We're hoping February, March, but he will be coming back. So we are looking forward to having him back on the show. So let's talk about something that's really been eating at a lot of people, and that is T-Mobile's data breach exposes about 37 million accounts. Ouch. That's a lot of accounts. So T-Mobile, the symbol of TMUS.O, said on Thursday, and I quote, "It was investigating a data breach that may have exposed 37 million postpaid and prepaid accounts and hinted at incurring significant costs related to the incident." Wow. Close quote. This is the second major cyber attack in less than 2 years. And it comes after the carrier agreed to upgrade its data security to settle a litigation related to a 2021 incident that compromised information of an estimated 76.6 million people. Ouch. So T-Mobile, however, added the basic customer data, such as the name, the billing address, email, and phone number, and was breached, and that it had begun notifying impacted customers. Now, the company has more than 110 million subscribers. A spokesperson for the U.S. Federal Communications, FCC, said, I quote, "The regulator had opened an investigation into the incident." So, and I want to quote again, "Carriers have a unique responsibility to protect customer information. When they fail to do so, we will hold them accountable. This incident is the latest in a string of data breaches at the company, and the FCC is investigating," close quote, the spokesperson from the FCC said. So, of course, T-Mobile declined to comment on the investigation. We wouldn't expect them to be around. And the news of this incident, drew some really sharp reactions from many people in the company as well as customers. And I'd also like to quote what Neil Mack, senior analyst for Moody's Investor Services, said. "While these cybersecurity breaches may not be systematic in nature, their frequency of occurrence at T-Mobile is alarming, outlier relative to telecom peers," close quote. So this says to me that T-Mobile is doing something that probably is not right. Probably not right. And I have to say that a standard needs to be set. And if that standard is not set, doesn't matter who you are, but you're going to have problems. You're going to have problems. And I have to tell you that, with the investor services division getting a little bit, let's say, concerned, I know this is going to trickle down to customers. Will they leave T-Mobile because of their inadequacies? Will they? Or are they going to do damage control, right? So my question is, how is T-Mobile doing damage control now? How are they doing it? Well, T-Mobile informed the impacted customers about unauthorized activity. This actually happened on January 19th, 2023, just yesterday. And I quote, "We are currently in the process of informing impacted customers that after a thorough investigation, we have determined that a bad actor used a single application programming interface or API to obtain limited types of information on their accounts. As soon as our teams identified the issue, we shut it down within 24 hours. Our systems and policies prevented the post sensitive types of customer information from being accessed. And as a result, customer accounts and finances should not be put at risk directly by this event. There's also no evidence that the bad actor breached or compromised T-Mobile's network or systems. While no information was obtained for impacted customers that would compromise the safety of customer accounts or finances, we want to be transparent with our customers and ensure they are aware. No passwords, payment, card information, social security numbers, government ID numbers, or other financial account information were compromised. Some basic customer information, nearly all of which is widely available in marketing databases or directory, was obtained, including name, billing address, email, phone number, date of birth, account number, and information such as the number of lines on the account and service plan features. We understand that this is an incident and the impact it has on our customers and regret that this occurred. While we, like any other company, are unfortunately not immune to this type of criminal activity, we plan to continue to make substantial multi-year investments in strengthening our cybersecurity program. So is this just a bunch of lip service, ladies and gentlemen, or is T-Mobile really going to do something about it? And I love the way they downplay the fact that it was only people's names. It was only people's addresses. It was only information that could be found in a marketing database. I think your date of birth and your name is pretty confidential information. So I think they're downplaying it really says to me and to many other people that this is not something they think is that serious. Or are they lying to the public so that they can just not have everybody go into a panic attack? I think it's number two. I think it's number two. I think what has to happen is the FCC needs to start maybe watchdogging T-Mobile because they've had so many issues. That's a problem, ladies and gentlemen. A very, very big problem. So, and this could happen with any carrier. I will tell you that I was with another carrier, and when my bill comes due, I get a phone call sometimes, and the phone call says, that your account's going to be suspended if you don't pay your $8,972, and I'm like, I just paid my bill. My bill's not even that high. So apparently, when the bill dates come out, they're actually catching information. So in this case, it was Verizon. Their bills, their emails, they're not very secure. And so the fact that people have gotten access to their phone numbers proves to me that even Verizon has problems. Verizon has been having issues. Verizon was hacked as well. Between October 6th and October 10th, a hacker gained access to their accounts and may have processed unauthorized SIM card changes. So all of these companies, right? You got T-Mobile. How about AT&T? AT&T had a hack, right? Theirs happened on people's email accounts. And although, you might be saying to yourself, hey, it's not a big deal because everyone's getting hacked. I'm sorry. that doesn't mean that we should accept their statement of downplaying it, because they're only downplaying it so you and I don't really react. I think we need to hold not only the bad actors, but the people that are running and managing our data, especially our carriers like Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, and any other cellular provider. Even your local CLEC, a common local exchange carrier, if you have a wired phone service at your home. That includes like Optimum. That includes Time Warner, right? Blue, and many other companies. I'm just saying that data breaches are never fun, okay? And carriers have a responsibility. They have a responsibility and an obligation to make sure not only that our data is safe, but that they're using our data to only process things that are in accordance with the most ethical standards. We'll keep an eye on that for you guys, but I did want to let you know that if you are with T-Mobile, but it's not just T-Mobile, all companies are having issues, but it seems that T-Mobile is having a lot of, let's say, recurring issues, even though they're not the same thing. The fact that their network is getting exploited so many times, it's a big problem, like the investors are saying. All right. Google vows to cooperate with India's antitrust watchdog after the Android ruling. What the heck is this all about? Well, in New Delhi, Google, Google said today on Friday it will cooperate with India's competition authority after the Supreme Court upheld stringent antitrust directives, forcing the U.S. firm to change how it markets its popular Android platform in a key growth market. The Competition Commission of India, CCI, ruled in October that Google, owned by Alphabet Inc., exploited its dominant position in Android and told it to remove restrictions on devices makers, including those related to pre-installations of apps and ensuring exclusivity of its search. It also fined Google, everybody ready for this? 161, not dollars, million. And Google's been concerned about India's decision as the steps seen are very, very strong. But they have a right to do it. After all, the European Commission is really serious about this problem with the Android phones. And about 97% of the 600 million smartphones in India run on Android. 97%, ladies and gentlemen, 97%. Can you believe that? 97%. That's a very, very high number. And while in Europe, the system accounts for 75% of the 550 million smartphones, this is according to Counterpoint Research estimates. And just yesterday, Google lost a challenge in India's Supreme Court to block the CCI directives, getting 7 days to comply, a move that will force the company to make changes to how it strikes government agreements with device makers who use its free open source Android platform. And a quote that I'd like to read from the Google spokesperson: "We remain committed to our users and partners and will cooperate with the CCI on the way forward." Close quote. Also, they said, quote, "We're reviewing the details of yesterday's decision, which is limited to the interim relief and did not decide the merits of our appeal." Close quote. Quote, India's highest court also said a lower tribunal where Google first challenged the Android directive can continue to hear the company's appeal and must rule by March 31st. Google said on Friday it will pursue the appeal in parallel. Close quote. So is Google really doing what's best for our community, or are they doing what's best for their pocket? And I think what we're going to find is that Google's doing what's best for their pocket. They don't care about you or I. Quote, Google told the Supreme Court if smartphone makers cherry pick which apps to preload, as the CCI ordered, it would prevent Google from securing pre-installation of its revenue-generating apps and consequently will force Google to charge a license fee. Google's not so free anymore, is it? This company warned that it could lead to mobile handsets getting costlier as input costs rise for the manufacturers. So even if you and I don't get charged, somebody's going to be paying this bill. And that bill is going to cause more charges to funnel down to, yes, the end users. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I think that we have to be understanding that anybody that has this much information at their disposal is a potential threat to the world. It's a potential threat. And, and I see we have a lot of people in the chat here. Thanks, Chris, for letting us know about that. We have some people here that are trying to just put garbage in the chat. I think companies that do this and people that spam chats, I think they should be really fined with serious amounts of money, especially a lot of these mega.com sites. They think they're so cool. They can come in and they can do stuff. But you know what? All they're doing is showing their lack of intelligence. That's right, their lack of intelligence. Because they think that everybody wants X-rated content, and they really don't. They want the news. They want to learn about technology. So mega companies, get lost. Nobody's really interested in you that watch our program. But I guess it must make you feel important that you try to connive, deceive, and manipulate the innocent public population. So Google, I just have to say to you and to Yahoo and to everyone else that you are not above the law and you are not above being ethical. But people think that you can be the way you are because of the amount of money you have, because of the power you already have attained, because you are the company that controls what shows up on the internet. I don't know. I've never trusted them from day one. Companies that hire these people from other parts of the world and just don't seem to have a clue. That's a problem. Why doesn't Google hire their own people in the United States to work for their company? Makes me second guess what's Google really up to. They're up to something. And with India's antitrust watchdog, they're going to start being held accountable for things they've done in the past and for things they're attempting to do in the future. So we will definitely keep you abreast of what's going on with that current situation. And yes, Stadia, goodbye to cloud-based gaming platform. What's going on here? What are they doing? I'd have to say that this is going to be a major, major change for people. And if you are wondering right now, what is it that shapes our world? And of course, it is technology, okay? But the end has come for Stadia. Google's cloud gaming platform, the tech giant announced in late September that it would pull the plug on Stadia after failing to entice enough users. And Wednesday marked the platform's last day. So did this happen because of that reason, or did they have another plan up their sleeve? Still, Google is earning rewards for how it handled the shutdown. As The Verge notes, it gave out refunds for both games and hardware, released a final game to the mark the occasion, and even enabled Bluetooth support for Stadia controllers, so they use them with PCs, Macs, and other devices. Stadia had solid tech that liberated games from expensive consoles and PCs, but it was a little bit behind in marketing because of the lack it had in its own game titles. I think this is a problem. And with Google ending Stadia, their cloud gaming service, I got it to know that it really impacted people. And I think the fact that people got their money back, they felt that Google did something right. But was this something that they did because they knew that if they didn't do it right, they would get sued? I think that's the reason why they did this, ladies and gentlemen. They did it for that reason. Players were a little bit disappointed, but Google felt it was the right thing. As per reports, players on Reddit and Discord were hosting farewell parties to say goodbye to Stadia. The decision to shut down Google Stadia was taken by the company as the platform failed, as we said, to garner enough attention for its players across the globe. But does that mean that they really want to shut it down? I don't think this means that Google's going away. Sorry for Stadia. I think they're going to come back with another name, and they figure the fact that they're doing such a great job and they're giving everyone pats on the back, they're up to something. They're up to something. We'll have to see what they're doing. But I'll tell you one thing. I don't trust them. I do not trust them at all. So where is the future of our life going right now? What's the future of what's happening in our world? And I think a big future of where we are in our world has to be delivery. And I'd have to say to you that being part of something, okay, makes a difference in people's lives. I know, ladies and gentlemen, that you're probably saying to me, hey, I don't use Stadia. I don't care. But it's not about Stadia. I think Google did this because they're trying to plant a Trojan horse, which means they're trying to sneak in when we're not expecting them to sneak in, when we don't want them to do something. That's what I believe Google's up to. I've seen it happen with Google before, and I know they're going to do it again. And Google's not the only company that does this, so they're not the only ones to be ashamed in this situation. There are others that act just like they do, and some that even act much more terribly. That's going to be a problem. So we'll have to see what happens. The future of contactless autonomous shopping and delivery is going to become a lot more prevalent in 2023, like restaurants, supermarkets. It'll become a cornerstone of the industry. This all happened because of the pandemic. COVID-19 forced companies to exercise hyperallergenic delivery measures to prevent space and the speed of this disease, and to ensure the healthy and safety components of their patrons. So every day, delivery companies relied on no contact delivery and expected them to continue to do so in the near future. So even though COVID is kind of going in remission, people are still trying to operate that way. Robots and autonomous vehicles are the future, ladies and gentlemen. Robots and autonomous vehicles are among the most critical trends that improve the contactless delivery experience, even the shipping process. In fact, major logistics and e-commerce companies like Amazon are starting to use drones to deliver packages to perform same-day deliveries where humans contact another. That, ladies and gentlemen, I think is really cool. I think it's cool because we're now using a technology to solve a need in the marketplace will lower the cost of the carbon footprint. Many businesses are suggesting and even incentivizing their staff to buy their lunch, their dinner from an online delivery place. And they'll actually pay for it sometimes because they don't want them to leave the office. They find that when they leave the office, that they come back and there's a lot of lost productivity time. Now, not everywhere, but there are some places this is happening. And while face-to-face retail stores are not going to be away, the concept is taking root of the store online. Customer-centric countries resembling traditional supermarket facilities, but are not even in the store customers. Instead, these locations provide fulfillment by online orders. So fulfillment centers help improve distribution and spread of delivery, especially within the same geolocation. Contactless means that there's protection for delivery. I know when I ordered food the other night, there was an option. Would I like contactless delivery? And I could just check a box. And that would mean that the payment was made all, electronically, and the driver just left my package, my food, and then I got a text telling me that my order was left on my door. So it does not mean the total extinction of shipment and delivery drivers. Nope. It actually means that contact-free delivery is improving the health and safety protocols around product logistics. And the need to prevent infectious transmission is enhancing the protection for delivery personnel everywhere in life. We're still hearing about PPEs, personal protective equipment. It's a must for supply chain personnel and delivery drivers who will be dealing with dozens and even hundreds of parcels daily. PPE is constantly improving, becoming less cumbersome and more comfortable, and will only improve over time. So improvements in delivery software, linking with considering features such as temperature tracking, personnel, health monitoring, and others are becoming a staple for our world. Now, the emergence of this new delivery technology is targeted toward everyone and the well-being of people and their health. So that's where it's coming from. But the bottom line about this new technology is that contactless delivery is here to stay. In a world where people are still kind of like distraught by the pandemic, many will still rely on online orders, health compliance stores. You'll get so much stuff. You'll also get the ability to supply from lines. And when this happens and new industries are formed, we want to help fulfill the buyer's needs in a quick amount of time that is safe and efficient. As we progress through what we call the new normal, as businesses that are trying to be profitable, it's inevitable that new ways to execute no contact deliveries are going to emerge. And there's many benefits to small businesses, large businesses, and improve the bottom line. As curbs, the risk of spreading disease will still be imminent and will become more something people will look into. It also helps drive digital payments and a healthy online presence for many. So the future of contactless delivery is not a question of if, it's already coming, but where. And you might be saying, well, this new company is offering contactless delivery, and if I choose it, I could save 10%. I think you're going to start wanting to save 10%. They might even say, gee, if you do contactless delivery, we'll save you 20%. Now, people that are on the fence about contactless delivery are going to be like, ugh, I don't want to do this. There's no way I want to do this. But when they incentivize you in such a way, it's going to be hard to not try the candy. Be very, very difficult. I mean, extremely, extremely difficult. All right. So let's talk about something that's pretty important, and that is Amazon. Yes, Amazon's had many of these reports about bare Amazon workers and the injury crisis. So is it really truthful? The answer is yes. You've got workers, on the docks, handling packages. Life is not the same for them. Federal investigations and investigators have found that conditions in 3 of the company's facilities are open to big risk, quote unquote, serious physical harm to the workers. Amazon was hit with a lot of forceful safety citations by the federal investigators in the U.S. Today News, finding and you might be saying to me, John, this is probably being blown out of proportion. It's not. Citations were released by the Occupational Health and Safety Administration, concluding that Amazon was, quote unquote, failing to keep workers safe, close quote. The company did not properly protect them from hazards like to cause of serious physical harm. The agency claimed that this was true, despite years of allegations from workers and state-level investigations into Amazon's injury rates. Today's action brought the first federal fine imposed on Amazon for worker musculoskeletal injuries. Wow, that's like deep, but that's a major milestone for Amazon in the fact that they've got to really clean up their ship or get out. Now, Amazon spokesperson Kelly Nantel says, and I quote, the company intends to appeal the agency's findings. Of course, she's going to say that. You know that. We've cooperated fully, and the government allegations don't reflect the reality of safety at our sites. She says, also, the vast majority of our employees tell us they feel our workplace is safe. The federal government doesn't provide specific ergonomic guidance, and Amazon has investigated significant time and money in lowering musculoskeletal risk. Nanto also says that citing Amazon data that shows injury rates falling almost 50% from 2019 to 2021. Now, although this sounds great, and you may believe it, I don't. I think this is just a PR come on, so people will go away. Even OSHA, Occupational for Safety and Health Administration's findings just recently echoed the research from a coalition of labor unions based on past injury data from the agency that concluded, quote, Amazon's warehouse injury rates are often at least double that of Walmart, its nearest competitor in size and scope. During the 2022 holiday season, warehouse workers described to Wired magazine their personal battles with exhaustion from overwork, wrist injuries, loud noise, and high-speed productivity expectations. The severity of the condemnation in the new federal citation was not matched by the penalty. If Amazon loses its planned appeal, it will have to pay a proposed fine of $60,269, a trifling amount for them. But a drop in the bucket for that kind of company relative to its $1 million incident. And you might be saying, I know. And that sounds like something that would hopefully affect and get people to want to make a change. But OSHA fines for very specific, repeated, and drastic violations and can increase to millions of dollars. The oil company, BP, faced multiple fines amounting to over $10 million for spills and refinery accident-related violations. But the cap on the fines for the types of safety violations can cause back injuries, fractures, or sprains was much lower, thus saying there was little financial incentive for companies to change. OSHA's fines have historically been incredibly low, but companies got the highest fines possible and believed for every violation cited, as per Berkowitz of Georgetown, close quote. Now, OSHA puts these rules in place not to give people a hard time, but to make sure that they stay safe, to make sure that the data is there so that they can have a job, that they don't have to worry that they're going to be in some type of acute or chronic care. One letter to Wakin, a facility, describes more than 20 sprains, fractures, bruises, and lacerations to feet, arms, faces, and other parts caused by workers losing control of packages weighing over 50 pounds. Another sent to Deltona facility described, quote, inadequate supervision of clinical personnel with appropriate clinical skills at Amazon's internal clinic for workers, including incidents where athletic trainers conducted or supervised examinations beyond the scope of their licensing. Amazon does not appear to have any quality management processes in place for its clinical staff, with major deficiencies in documenting care. This represents a dramatic deviation from standard practices for clinicians in the United States. The inspectors at the Deltona facility were also in, and they wrote this letter, close quote. So OSHA does not appear to be finished with Amazon, which I'm happy that you guys will also hear. The details in the hazard letters and in the scope of findings suggest an ongoing investigation and likely more citations and fines, as Berkowitz says. The agencies had told people that it will continue to investigate 3 additional Amazon facilities in Aurora, Colorado, Napa, Idaho, and Castleton, New York. Quote, while Amazon has developed impressive systems to make sure its customers' orders are shipped efficiently and quickly, the company has failed to show the same level of commitment to protecting the safety and well-being of its workers, close quote, said Doug Parker, Assistant Secretary of Labor for Occupational Safety and Health Administration announcement. Amazon may soon be fighting more than one citation from the agency. So I think what we're learning here is that even the big guys eventually are going to get in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble, ladies and gentlemen. And so whether we're talking about technology, whether we're talking about people's safety, whether we're talking about mental well-being, these companies have to know that they cannot get away with this crap. They have to be taught a lesson. And I can tell you something, once that lesson is taught, once these fines hit and the rules get put down, you're going to see A, a lot more fines being issued, or B, you're going to see it tighten up. And I hope we're going to see B before anything, and we don't ever see A, because they don't want to find more people. But what they do want to do is get to the heart of it. Amazon and all these companies have amazingly great PR people. I know, because I'm in the media. And they really try to get people to be convinced. Are you convinced by the stories that they write? If you Google, is Amazon, let's say, is Amazon safe to work at? And you will get the overall injury rate for Amazon employees is 6.5 per 100 people. That's high, which is more than double the rate of the company's main competitor, Walmart, which has a rate of 3 per 100. So is Amazon a safe company to work for? Amazon reports its safety team is more an army, reached 8,000 in health and safety professionals globally in 2021. That's more than most companies' entire payroll. There are only 9,008 companies in the U.S. with more than 1,000 employees total, according to the government surveys. That's pretty incredible. So Amazon reports its safety team more an army, reaching 8,000 health and safety professionals globally in 2021. So what is the most common injury at Amazon? I thought you would never ask me. That's a musculoskeletal disorder. And it accounts for about 40% of the work-related injuries in the company, impacting millions of people around the globe. Are Amazon employees happy with their jobs? 91% of these people surveyed felt they were encouraged to share their ideas. 74% felt confident they can meet their career goals working at Amazon. And 91% reported to their manager to create an environment where they feel comfortable expressing their concerns. But are these people that are the truth? Are we getting a true populace? Or is Amazon just like squashing people? Are Amazon warehouses worse than others? Fruman testified, and I quote, the overall injury rate for U.S. workers in all occupations was 3.3 injuries per 100,000 workers in 2021. According to the OSHA, the rate for all warehouses was 4 per 100,000. Amazon was at 7.7% per 100,000. That's very, very high. So if Amazon has these high injury rates, I'd have to say that it's a problem. So the rate for most serious injuries at Amazon facilities is 40% higher than at a non-Amazon facility. Amazon, you think, would have less injuries because they have all this technology. But the truth of the matter is this technology is there so they can become profitable. It's not there so they can keep their workers safe. They like to say it is, but it's not. Can Amazon fire you for getting injured? Well, our retaliatory termination is illegal for workers' compensation claim. Quote, it is illegal for your employer to retaliate and terminate your employment because you have reported a workspace injury or you have filed a workers' compensation claim, close quote. So Amazon is definitely a very big place. People ask, do I get the regular benefits that other companies give? Yes, you get your check for however many days you worked a week. You were terminated. I mean, I just feel that they're like this, I don't know, they're like this monster. Is it better to quit from Amazon or should I just get fired? Now, that's a very interesting. And should I reapply later? So, one lady stated that I work, and I recruit in the United States. And the answer proceeds accordingly. If you quit, but are under the impression that a firing is imminent, you aren't going to be hired back. Now, this isn't unique to Amazon, ladies and gentlemen. Every employer keeps tallies of former employees, and managers are asked if the departing employee is eligible for rehire. In circumstances described, it seems hard to conclude the hiring manager would sign off on a rehire eligibility. One person said, I was fired from my Amazon job via email for an attendance issue, but now they're saying I quit, which means I don't receive UI benefits. What should I do? How can I find if I can be rehired after being terminated for a TOT at Amazon? Does Amazon ever hire people whom they had previously fired? Probably not. I made up my decision to resign from Amazon, which has given me PIP recently. Should I step back and justify that I am worth being here, then quit? If you get terminated at Amazon, can you be rehired? If so, how long does it take? So these are questions that many, many, many people are asking day in and day out. But the thing about Amazon is that they keep changing the answers to these questions. I mean, I think that's really terrible. Getting fired about a decade ago and having an employee who was working himself down and getting fired path took himself aside for a quick conversation. And he was a good person, but his performance was suffering. He was a helpful person working in an environment that prided itself in squeezing blood out of stones and sucking our souls dry. I explained to him that a point was given him his official verbal warning and that I could be working with him closely and coaching him to stay. But a lot of these people, they just want to get the benefit. They want to get vested. They want to do the minimum and they want to get the max amount of pay. I'm sure you've heard that before. So is Amazon the only one that's a problem? No, they're not. But we hear about Amazon because they have a lot of money, because there's a lot of volume there. That's why we hear about Amazon. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. I'm your host of the JMOR Tech Talk Show. And, we'll be talking about other issues that are important to you, that are important to your friends, your family, your colleagues, your associates in regard to technology. So, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you'll like, love, and support the channel. And definitely, ladies and gentlemen, comment below to share this out with everyone you know on social media and make the choice to use technology in the most efficient and helpful manner possible. And I'll see you guys on another JMOR Tech Talk show, which is next week, January 27th. Take care, everyone, and have a wonderful weekend.